really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in '03.
Not all of them, some of them.
Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy popping all that. I be seeing you, Jimmy, talking about we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store. Talking about we Gucci boo boo. Them like King they was going you up. Jimmy, they was like Marita Moneda. Coca-Cola.
Jim Jones was never better than Nas. Jim Jones will never be better than Nas. And this is coming from somebody that's not a Nas fan. I love Dipset. I love the Diplomats. I love Bird Gang. But we not about to start rewriting history because Jim Jones got confidence.
Jim Jones stated that he is more than merely relevant when he appeared on Shannon Sharpe's program. He has greater cultural significance than Ann is. He did indeed go there. And everything changed as soon as he said those words, either a name. Drop nor a diss was wasted by 50 Cent. He played it smooth now. He let the streets go crazy after sharing an old federal transcript on Instagram. These days, individuals are unearthing ancient wiretaps and extracting vintage clips. Abruptly, Jim can be seen shouting on video while in the gym, making shit noises as if he were about to serve time in Rikers. Let's face it though, this is about more than simply Nas. Furthermore, it's not simply about some rap ego. This seems like a major message from 50 to the industry. Remember who is untouchable and perhaps even make fun of those who manage to avoid federal prosecution. Jim may have been attempting to show off, but he's just opened a portal that might allow heat to return from all sides. Jim's constant reference to Nas is painful for a reason. The tension didn't arise overnight. This conflict has deep roots and is erupting louder than ever. It dates back to 2002, when Nas went off on Hot 97 and disparaged the show at random. Dipset came out swinging after that one Hot 97 moment sparked a flame. Jim Jones jumped right in without hesitation. Things became rather nasty after that. Like it was open season, Nas and Dipset were teasing one another with mixtapes. However, Jim took it personally. He maintained that same intensity while stating bluntly that he would knock the Kofi off Nas. Not only were songs like We Fly High popular, but they also made a message. However, this is where things get...
I never got to see Nas. I never got to sit down and have a conversation with Nas and things like that. I had called you about it and things like that. That was like still one of the people that I never got to have a conversation throughout my history of rap and things like that. I think I would love to have a conversation with Nas. I wouldn't know if he knows it, but Nas was one of my all-time favorite rappers coming up and things like that.
I heard you say that.
Since the barbecue and things like that. Like he really put the whole dope boy rap, crack hustler, get fresh rap into perspective before any.
Jim wasn't always a shot putter. He was giving Nas love only a year ago. That admiration quickly became shady. Everything.
Jim Jones. No diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record, then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries, then check all them entries and shit. I'm not taking nothing away from nobody, but I hear the comparisons and then be trying to act funny when it comes. No, I've been spanking a lot of this shit about the industry. I've been putting on.
No diplomats, no Jim Jones, no one else. I'm Jim Jones. Check my record, then everyone else's. Then go to the billboards and check all of my entries. Then check all of their entries. I'm not disparaging anyone, but I hear the comparisons and attempt to seem amusing when it comes to no. I've been scolding the industry a lot lately. When Jim appeared on Fat Joe and Jedica's program, I was wearing flip-flops, and Fat Joe stirred things up like a pro. I recently came across a video on Instagram of a small child expressing that you gave my young guy large hits and compared you to Nas. He glanced at you. Yo, you taught him how to put on the BB Simon belt. He received his goodies. How insane. Is it really? Because you understand what I mean in my time. In my day and age, nausea is a deity. The timing may have continued to bury that moment. Jim, however, wasn't going to overlook it. He desired to delve farther. And then, just as the smoke had barely subsided, there was a boom. Jim appeared on a different platform, this time Chad. Usinko Johnson allegedly used Shannon Sharpe's nightcap with him to defend himself. But instead, he added fuel to the fire and insulted Shannon. He had no intention of letting Jim get away with it.
Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy be popping all that. I be seeing you, Jimmy talking about we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store talking about we Gucci boo boo. Them like king they was going you up. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Moneda. Coca-Cola.
God, yo, honestly, I can't, like, if it was like Jim Jones, imagine putting a pen to paper to write about him. Even something nice. Even something nice about him. How did you do that? What's the first sentence? What the fuck do you write about him? I'm not anxious to hear the Jim Jones diss record. Like, I'm like, yo, the used to have so nervous was like B.I.G., Pac, right? Even Cannabis, like Eminem, the used to have you like, if we go at it, dog, we gotta go hard. You know what I'm saying? But these Jim Jones, like, I mean, I respect you getting your money. You're like, exactly, right?
He began by saying, "Let me ask you a question." But Jim's next statement caused viewers to pause throughout the whole show, wondering, did he really just say that just when you thought he was done comparing careers? Jim returned with yet another astute observation. He brought up the old Dipset against Nas beef from the early 2000s, saying that although he was always a larger admirer of NS, he now claims to have outperformed him in terms of influence. He then attempted to change topics, praising Nas for his fashion sense and saying that he has always been among the game's flyest. But he kept returning to the same audacious argument. I have more of an impact on the streets than Naja does. Like a movie belly. Jim immediately became quite irritable. On broadcast, he began to make fun of Shannon Sharpe's attire. "You had best do it, I see." Usinko, meanwhile, sat there and watched Shannon and Jim spar like it was a pay-per-view slugfest. While they were still discussing rap legends and Naja, things took a crazy turn. Shannon was accused by Jim of inviting him simply for the clicks that set off the fuse. "Is this the most popular podcast you have ever appeared on?" Shannon lost her temper. Shannon Sharpe abruptly changed from a calm host to a fierce opponent. Shannon was prepared to take it to the gym and settle it with repetitions if Jim wanted to smoke. Shannon did more than only look at Jim's lyrics when he claimed to be superior to Nas. He examined his body. Jim attempted to turn the entire situation into a gym battle in an attempt to demonstrate that he still had supremacy in some arenas. Rather than retaliating with shots at 50, I'd want to attend. However, 50 had already made his next move in silence while Jim was working out and talking gym jargon. And that one label was still looming large in the background, ready to append everything once more. The comment section was going crazy in. Meanwhile, the idea that a former NFL Hall of Famer was out here supporting Nas had fans going crazy. Shannon did what Fat Joe and Jada should have done. One admirer even remarked, "You're crazy, Jones. I appreciate you bringing it up." Shannon, to be honest, they were right. What made Fat Joe?
Yo, Wack, let me just get this off my shoulders, right? Let me just get this off my shoulders to show you what type of nigga I am. And why it's so early, let me get this off my shoulders. Jim Jones, right? He ran with the same niggas I ran with a decade before I met him. Jim Jones, the Dipset nigga, the nigga that was just over there dancing and shit on verses. Jim Jones was running with Shotty, Cafano Jordan, right? Mel Matrix, Jamel Jones, Road Murder, Roland Martin. He was running Fu Banger, Fuquan, I forgot his last name, Fuquan some shit. He was running with all of the cats I ran with and got his daddy for. You know what Jim Jones did? That nigga did not take care of none of them niggas. Cause when I ran to them niggas, Shotty was sleeping on the rug on fucking Madison between Tompkins and Troop. Mel Murder was on dates and Marcus Garvey was baby.
As all of this drama unfolded in public, Joe and Jacques were incredibly silent throughout that initial interview. 50 Cent was placed in the background, observing everything that happened. Don't get it wrong though, he was not giggling. Not yet. Anyhow, fans unearthed an old clip that made jaws drop again, just as many thought the whole thing was hilarious and perhaps dying down. But then it took a petty turn. 5. Look at the genuine disdain. Not because Nas clapped back, but more because he didn't. Jim wasn't simply disregarded in those days, left the stage laughing. And in 2025, the same old vitality has returned as if it had never been gone. However, it didn't end there. Someone else was out there as Nas remained mute and Shannon continued to become more ripped every day. 50 Cent overheard Jim assert that he was superior to Nas. He remained still. He only chuckled. Then he took a straight-up bombshell out of his bottomless receipt vault.
Out in Texas, please, whatever you do, don't tell them I'm in San Antonio. Don't tell them I'm staying at the Four Seasons. Don't tell them, please, don't tell them, man, because it's just so much pressure on me right now. I don't know what to do.
He resurrected one of the most contentious rumors in hip-hop history, accusing Jim of being the source. The internet was in ruins because of just one caption. Because you know if you do, Individual One was more than a moniker. During the 2019 Trey case, the federal code name was taken directly from the Tekashi 69 wiretap. Prosecutors aired a phone call they said included Jim Jones during Tekashi's trial. He was identified as an individual, but not by name. Someone was allegedly ordering gang members to beat up Tekashi for flipping on the set during the conversation. Jim's voice, however, was never formally verified in court. Furthermore, he was never charged, but it made no difference. Not to the streets of Seven, and certainly not to the blogs, not to 50 Cent. Of course, that moment stayed with him forever. Now that Jim is swelled up,
he was your man, like on the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing. He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked, and I knew I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. You gotta watch to see how he responds. And then you see, he like, oh shit, he really like that. Give me that, get me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want you at this show, Jimmy. Yeah, but that was one of those things, I just threw it out.
attempting to get Naja into a fight and putting his chest up on podcasts. 50 recognized the ideal opportunity to remind everyone of the time. He dug deep into his Instagram storage and shared a meme that he had quickly erased. Like people were, don't say that, Jimmy. Rewind to 2019, when Tekashi's court case was updated by the Shade Room. According to a courtroom reporter who was authenticated, Tekashi listed Jim Jones as a member of the 9 Trey. 50 was unable to assist himself. In the comments, he leaped in. Then came the now famous video of 50 declaring, "I'm afraid for my life," while seeming genuinely frightened and quivering. Jimmy is gang after all. Jimmy, the internet is dying laughing. This is where things start to change, though. This entire dispute didn't even begin with Nas. Jim has been the target of insults from 50s for years. This new moment just gave him the go-ahead to begin dragging Jim around once more. Remember when 50 invited Joel Santana and Jim Jones too? The stage at a Geonit event in 2007. Pet was already in disarray, so their action was blatantly disrespectful.